Iowa lawmakers want to change the rules for some private boarding schools.
The new rules come after an FBI investigation into Midwest Academy in Keokuk, Iowa, after sexual and physical abuse allegations. The school was never inspected or monitored in the 13 years it was in business. Lawmakers want the state to have more oversight into private residential facilities like boarding schools. That bill heads now to the House, where leaders have been vague about their support for it. There are new options for people who want to visit the Rock Island Arsenal. The military won't accept Illinois state IDs because they don't meet federal security requirements. But now people can visit with their driver's license along with secondary identification. That includes things like a vehicle registration or a FOID card. Previously, they were only accepting passports as backup identification.
Well, if the worst were to happen, do you have a survival plan in place, I should say. Lourdes Duarte shows us how a group of Illinois residents aren't taking any chances and are training for all emergencies.
A walk in the woods in the middle of winter, training for a worst-case scenario.
Hope isn't a strategy, planning is.
We try to be very realistic.
Always being prepared is important.
What you need for fire.
This entire group is thinking about it now. They've put emergency preparedness at the top of the list. They're part of the Kuma Survival School.
This way I can kind of grab him, throw him down, okay?
Led by self-defense instructor Johnny Ty.
So this is what we're gonna do.
Although they wind up outside, the day begins in the classroom.
Who here has any type of long-term food storage?
They all do, and they're not alone. Many others are preparing for the unforeseeable, with headlines like ISIS, natural disasters, domestic terrorism. More and more people are turning to Ty for guidance.
I see a lot of new people, a lot of new faces, a lot of beginners, but now it's very popular because of panic and fear that a lot of social media creates.
In fact, Eric Larkey has made a business out of that fear. He runs a zombie combat dive team, and for good reason. Listen to this. Nearly 4 million Americans are classified as preppers or survivalists.
I plan for catastrophic events, tornadoes, hurricanes, for companies. And I'm doing this now because there's a need.
I'm preparing my family for the total destruction of the power grid.
A doomsday prepper show has even popped up on National Geographic. So what does this all mean?
We talked about being informed.
Even Chicago's Office of Emergency Management will tell you.
Preparedness is everybody's responsibility.
Some sort of plan, even a basic one, is needed.
Home preparedness is, where do we meet if there's a fire? Where's our muster point? What happens if there's something that takes place in the neighborhood? And where do we go?
But in this case, the preparation is intense. Ty, for example, has an entire bug-out car. Look at it. Tools for any scenario.
If I'm ever in a defensive situation, I have handcuffs.
Every inch of it is equipped. Knives, helmets, flashlights. And a training session here consists of building shelter, building fire, building defense. They're even testing pepper spray and masks in case it's ever needed.
So people go, yeah, I'm from Chicago, nothing happens here. But it always happens when you're driving on the side of the road in Kentucky on the side of a mountain, then there's an avalanche.
Most preppers, though, keep their plans to themselves. Ty knows there's a stereotype of being paranoid. So to that, he says,
a little bit of paranoia will keep you alive. A lot of paranoia will drive you crazy.
Paranoia or not, the number of extreme preppers is rising, but still only 39% of Americans have an emergency plan in place, even for something as simple as a winter storm.
It's all treated like life insurance. They all know they should have it. They all know that they need it. Nobody wants to spend any money on it.
Well, for some helpful information to create an emergency plan for your family, you can visit ready.gov. Up next, business opportunity.
Why a cafe in England says anyone with cat allergies perhaps need not apply.